All right. Okay, I think we're on air here. Hi, my name is Dean Venderman, and I'm going to give a presentation here on using math class Minecraft in the math classroom. I'm really excited to be a part of MAD. We're on air here. Hi, my name is Dean Venderman, and I'm getting some feedback. Give a presentation here on Minecraft in the math classroom. Really excited to be a part of. I must have something over. 1 second. I must have
it. Typically happens if you have your YouTube open at the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I didn't think I did, but
you either want to pause it or mute it.
Oh, I found it. I'm good. I found the open link. I've been trying a few things in that. So sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, again, my name is Dean Venderman, and I'll be doing Minecraft in the math classroom here, and it's part of the MAD presentation here, making a difference in the classroom. And I'm going to take you through a few things, and I'm really excited about sharing my journey. I'm also lucky and honored to be joined by my guest, Garrett Zimmer. His handle is at PG Jelly Games, right? Is that right, Garrett?
PB Jelly Games, yeah.
Time, right? All right. And he's a fellow Minecraft mentor that I'm really grateful that hopped aboard, and he'll be joining us on our journey this afternoon too. So Garrett, thanks again for jumping in here and helping out. So what I've done here, and hopefully this will work for me. I've heard before, but you know how technology is sometimes. So we'll give this a go. I'm going to do a little screen share here. I'm going to go share on this, and you probably see a whole bunch of things right now, but Garrett, can you see my PowerPoint?
We can, yes.
Awesome. All right. So I'll go from the beginning. So there's my information. Again, my handle's at Vendy55, and there's my email address. Feel free to email me anytime. And all the resources, and we'll go through this later on, but this presentation, even when they do the video of this and stuff, I'll put that up there too. But we're deanvenderman.weebly.com. That's where my blog is, and that's also where my resources will be. So feel free to gander at that and use anything that you see on there for sure. So this is my inspiration for using Minecraft. My two kids. On the right, the taller one, his name's Xander, and on the left, the younger one there, his name's Zach. And that's kind of where I started my Minecraft journey with them. You know, they're playing Minecraft, and I tried to jump in with them, and I did, but quickly got to see how much more adept they were than I was at the game. But it was a lot of fun watching them. But it was interesting watching them. You know, a lot of games. You know, there's always you need points or whatever, but it was just amazing to watch them create and to find resources and put things together. And I definitely liken Minecraft to like electronic Lego. So it was really cool to watch them go in, and I definitely saw right there. And then the ability that Minecraft had to go into the classroom. So a little bit about my journey. Actually, I'm basically sitting right here where my students are. My journey started Minecraft, I'd say with my kids, but in the classroom about 4 years ago. And it started slowly, but I was actually teaching social studies at the time. And we were doing some projects, and some kids wanted to do their project in Minecraft. And I said, for sure. So they built like the Roman Colosseum and a bunch of other cool things. And I said, yeah, this is something I want to get into very much. I was also lucky earlier on too to get a class set of iPads. So we got actually Minecraft Pocket Edition. And then I started teaching some math, and I definitely saw the opportunity, and I started using the Pocket Edition in the math class as well. And it worked really well. But as you'll see with the presentation, I got lucky again, and I have a class set of laptops. So I have a one-on-one environment, which makes it a lot easier. But even if you don't, there are ways you can go around it for sure. But and we also have Microsoft Office 365, which lends itself perfectly to using Minecraft Education Edition, which we'll take a look at today. So this year has been just amazing. My Minecraft in the classroom has definitely gone through the roof. I was lucky enough to apply for and get to be a Minecraft global mentor, like my colleague Garrett on the other side here. And that's been great, and it's opened my eye. And there's so much information out there and so much support and so many people to help you with your journey. So, you know, even with this presentation here, hopefully it gives you a good idea of what you can do with Minecraft, but also hopefully you realize there's tons of support out there, tons of great people that are willing to share resources, ideas, and it's a great journey to be a part of. But most importantly, I don't know if you just look at my students there, look how engaged they are. They're doing a lot of the things that I think we need to promote in our classroom, and I'll get into that in a little bit too. So that's kind of my journey kind of in a nutshell with using Minecraft in the classroom for sure. And I'm looking forward to it, to get even onto more things on it as I learn more. Quickly during this, I know we have limited time, but I want to, you know, show you why I use Minecraft as a tool. So I want to share a couple of kind of pedagogical ideas why I think it's really important. Then get into some the examples of how I use Minecraft in my math classroom, and a couple other bonus examples too. And then also I have resources. I don't know how much I'll get into how to play. I don't think we have time for that, but I do have some resources for it, and you'll see a few things. And then I have some things about what education research is saying about using Minecraft. And I did a little poll with my students, so you can see what my students are saying about it a little bit. And then hopefully, like I said, my special guest, Garrett, will chime in. Hopefully anytime, Garrett, by all means, please do. And share some of the great things that he's doing. And he's got some amazing work to share too. So I'm really happy to have him aboard too. And then we can wrap up, and we'll try to answer some of your questions and make sure you know, if we don't know the answer, we'll find it, but you know, kind of work together towards that. So hopefully that sounds like a good lineup, and hopefully everything kind of makes sense so far. Garrett, how is it sounding so far on your end?
I think it's sounding absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited to hear about your journey. I'll tell you, I had no idea that you've been using Minecraft for as long as you have. So very inspiring.
Yeah, no, it's been quite the journey, and it's only getting better. So thanks, Garrett. I appreciate that. One of the main reasons why I think using Minecraft in the Minecraft is because it promotes the 7 C's of 21st century lifelong skills. Inside of Minecraft, you have students using critical thinking, and they're creating, they're collaborating, there's cross-cultural understanding, communication, computing, you know, career and self-reliance, all of those. So definitely within like the SAMR model, I definitely think that Minecraft is redefining what we can do in the classroom, and it's just amazing to see what students do. So I think it's very progressive. I've just seen, like I put in my little intro, I just see kids being more empowered and engaged like never before. And one thing I've been looking at too a little bit more is universal design. So I really think that it gives a chance when you use Minecraft as a tool in the classroom, and if you have a good plan, and nothing replaces best practice. You still have to, you just can't throw Minecraft in the kids' laps and say, here you go. You have to ground it in good pedagogy and best practice. But what I like about universal design here is, that they can present their content a bunch of different ways. Minecraft does a great job of that. It differentiates the ways students can express what they know, and it also stimulates interest and motivation for learning. So I think this tool really gets the brain active, and I've seen students come up with some amazing ideas that I never would have thought of too, and it's been great. So those are kind of two of the main reasons why I think using Minecraft is really effective in education. Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I love what you're saying about universal design learning. That's one of the biggest impacts that I think Minecraft has to bring to the table. So to just feed forward on that, what's interesting, and I'm sure, please reflect on this, I'm sure you've seen this with your students, that in Minecraft, there's so many different ways to play the game. There's so many different ways to engage with the game. Some people like to build, some people like to do the redstone and the coding, and using that computational thinking and logical thinking to drive their thinking process forward. And others really like the social aspect, the collaborative skills in there. So Minecraft is, for me, it represents this perfect tool where it's a beautiful fit with UDL, because it really does have something for everybody. And I think that's what made the game so popular in the beginning. I'm sure you have tons of examples of that.
Yeah, No, exactly. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm getting better. And that's why I like talking to people like Garrett. It's very inspiring to see, and definitely I see firsthand what the kids are getting out of it too. So let's take a look at some of this. So here's how I use Minecraft, especially in my math classroom. So I have a variety of, and everybody has access to this. I put my lesson plans and my even the worlds that the kids did, and also the projects that they came up with. So if we had more time, I'd go through every one of them. But here's one I've used to help students understand surface area. So, whoops, well, maybe I'll go back because I know I had the other one open. Oh, okay. Well, I can do this because I had them open before, and we're going to be okay. I'll just go File, Open. Open one. And I've done, and all of these ones, like I say, you have, oh, there's a surface area one. We can open up that. Garrett, can you see this so far?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So again, this, I teach in Saskatchewan. So there's my curriculum right there to understand surface area. And then there's a 21st century skills. So I think I could have actually clicked on all of them, but I clicked on, and you can see sometimes 21st century skills, depending on where you're at, they take a little bit of a different spin. But I think the C's are very much common to the different ways people talk about them. But you have communicate, collaborate, critical thinking, and create. So I'm really lucky. The reason why I have a one-on-one laptop solution in my class is because my school division came up with an RCSD Connected Educator program. So I applied for it. So part of the process is also creating lesson plans and sharing them. So I had a really good time doing that. So we talked about digital citizenship, and some of the essential questions that we talked about. We did some maybe more traditional teaching. Making sure that they understood some of the concepts of what surface area is, and even looked at formulas. But what I wanted to use Minecraft for is it's really hard for students to see something that's three-dimensional and look at a 2D piece of paper. So I think Minecraft right there was a win, just even to be able to do that three-dimensional objects. So what they were able to do, and I'll show you some examples, they were able to build a shelter. We're doing a pyramid, like a step pyramid. And then I gave them a couple of examples to do, and I just said, well, make me something that has 25 meters squared, for example, or 50 meters squared. So, and then I didn't, with this assessment too, I didn't want to make it really about the, I was assessing what they did by watching them, but I also put a little rubric here that definitely helped kind of organize it and that, but I just didn't want to put too many constraints on it because I wanted to see what the kids came up with. So if I go into my world here, we can take a look at, and these are all my students' work here. So here's a surface area project right here. So Garrett, can you see this all right?
I can. Screen is sharing perfect. Well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Sometimes you had.
I know, it's technology, right?
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for you to jump on board and that. So this is what my students are doing. Here's a step pyramid, and my student came up, and that's such nice about this. Like we can talk more about it, but I usually tell students to use creative mode because then they get all of the, like when I hit E here, they get all the blocks and everything that they need. They don't have to craft. Survival mode is great too, and there's lots of good lessons you can do with that. But for something like this, using the creative mode, and we can answer questions on that after, but it gives you everything at your disposal. So you can just go in there and build and do that. So you can see there's signs, there's blackboards, so you can put your information. They would have access to all their blocks and torches, and they can even do something like this, which is they can fly. So it's just interesting. Again, they get the 3D view of it. And when they do fly over top of something, for example, like this step pyramid, they can see this is just actually a square. So to get the top of their step pyramid, if they just take the length here and the width, they can figure out what it is. And you can't do that with a piece of paper. So the other thing they're able to do is to go ahead and walk around their design and really experiment and play with it, and understand how the formulas come to be too, because sometimes a formula is just some letters and numbers, but when they build and construct, have a lot more say. It was interesting too. I think this is on the side where you built it. Good. So this is where, and it's a nice simple structure, but here's where I said 25 meters squared. So a lot of the kids actually chose this route. I saw a few different ones, but some of them couldn't get their heads around it, but they realized that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh yeah, there's 6. There's 6 blocks, 6 faces on this side. So as they walk around, they would see their 6, 12, 18, 24. But then when they go on top, they would find their 25th. And it was really eye-opening for a lot of kids to be able to see that. And they wouldn't have the 26th because you can't see the 26th face because it's implanted in the ground. So Minecraft does a great job. And then here's how they did 50. They realized from using this tower to make 2 towers like that. But I did see one girl once, she built something and she actually built like a window in it. And then you had to count the faces inside of the structure as part of the surface area. And I thought that was brilliant. So one lesson that we've used, and then I let students hand in their project in a variety of ways. So what I'm loading up here, a lot of times we use Sway, or we use PowerPoint, or we also use Office Mix and to way to hand things in. So this was a Sway of one of the projects that one of the students did, and Sway's even gotten better already. When I did this, I didn't realize before, but now Sway does actually audio recordings inside of it. So the students can take screenshots and they can put it inside their Sway. But Education Edition, which I know this is taking a little longer than I was hoping for. I did have it loaded before, but I don't know if I want to risk and going wrong. But let's see, is it letting me in? Definitely would like to show you guys an example of the student work here. Let's see here. Well, second or so, and then I'll see if it's not letting me in. I have another way I can show it, some examples to you too, but I'll come back. But so that's one way they can do it. So that was a scale, and that was grade 9 math. So we also did symmetry. We did some pixel art work where they found a website and they did pixel art, and then they had to reconstruct their pixel art in 3D, which was really interesting. My favorite ones. I also teach a class called Work Experience 20. So you got kids that are like 16, 17 years old, and in Saskatchewan, there's basically 2 pathways with math. One's like calculus and foundation, and then there's work placement. And sometimes like work placement is supposed to be a lot of hands-on. There's lots of projects, which I really enjoy about it. But unfortunately, sometimes you get some students that aren't always motivated, or had been in the past motivated with math. But I find that Minecraft is definitely, not only can use it with 16 and 17-year-olds, but I also found it to be quite motivating. And even some of the kids that hadn't played Minecraft before, and there was actually very few, they were picking up on it very quickly. And like Garrett was alluding to earlier, some of these kids just did the basics. They made a flat world and they just kind of built what they had to. But some of these kids went right into it, and they used the infinite world, and they were going through water and through mountains and building all their slopes and that. So again, hopefully this one will work. No. Oops, it's a little slower now. Hopefully you guys can see things all right. Maybe I have
got 1,000,001 tabs open. It works.
Yeah, I know. I work, my mind kind of goes, but it's great. I can open up, maybe that's why it's a little bit slower on that one, but and again, you have access to them on my website too, and hopefully this one will open up quick. But this is right from the curriculum guide. Now I did use this lesson before with them, and it was just want to see if again there we go. So and you can see here was the curriculum objective. So again, there's the 21st century skills that I was hoping they did, and we talked about slope, rise over run. It's interesting with Minecraft because you're working with blocks, so there are a little bit of limitations, but even what the kids came up with was amazing. So they were to build a roller coaster, and they had to show me different types of slope, like positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, and undefined slope. and it was pretty amazing what they did. So Minecraft World, and I'm going to save and quit this one, and I can take a little peek at what their roller coaster is about. So I'll go to this one here. And I thought the kids did a fantastic job, and like Garrett was alluding to earlier, the collaboration between the kids was great. They really got into this. So we're already on roller coasters, and a group of 4 worked on. They had to divvy up and plan what they were doing and figure things out. So you can see they got creative. They learned quickly, and a lot of them did already understand what Redstone would do for them. And Redstone's very important in the game, especially when you want to make something like a roller coaster. Redstone will allow you to basically kind of works like electricity almost, and will help propel you and move you on things. So you can see these kids here, they built it right into the sky. They were just really getting into it. You can see they were going through the ground turns, and they really had a grasp. Now, I know enough about Minecraft to get myself into trouble. I learned a lot from my kids, like my own kids, but I also learned a lot from these students here, and they were showing me a ton of different things. So I'm going to get out right here. That's one thing I would recommend for you guys. Maybe figure out the game a little bit, but more importantly, if you have a good idea, run with it and just watch and learn from the kids. It's amazing. So I had to do here was put again, what kind of slope it was. So if they had rise over, it was undefined, that meant that they had a rise, but they didn't have a run. So you can't have a run at 0. And so the kids really got a good understanding of that's how they showed their work. So that gives you a little tour kind of what they were doing and how they showed their work. And then there was a follow-up activity where they had to take their screenshots and that. But one thing that Education Edition does nicely too is that in camera, and you can actually, the camera pictures for you. So if you just choose a 4, for example, and right click, it actually takes a picture. And there's also a nice little feature in here too, called Portfolio, that when you use that, and again, it doesn't matter when you're in the creative mode, all these things you have access to quite easily. When I go to here and I right click, there's a picture of what I just took, and I can type in whatever I want to say what I was seeing and that type of thing. And then you can export your portfolio, and it comes out as a bunch of JPEGs that you can use in a variety of presentation means. So Education Edition is quite cool, and we'll talk maybe a little bit about that. Garrett, how am I doing? Do you have any questions or anything to that?
You're doing good. I was going to say, if I may interject for a moment, because what I always like to do when I'm working with educators and talking with educators about sort of where Minecraft sort of supports this learning. From our perspective as educators, obviously we want these assessments. We want to be able to, know that the student understood, and the student being able to create these things is all well and good. But what Minecraft does better than anything, and we know as educators that the real learning doesn't happen when they're writing it on paper. We've gone far beyond that. It's no longer about writing things out 100 times and that's what's going to cause the retention. The retention happens in the engagement. And when you're traveling through, as I'm watching you go through this roller coaster and actually experiencing that slope up, and as you're progressing through your mind, figuring out, am I at the right slope? Am I doing it differently? And having that opportunity to iterate it in a 3D, spatial, visual, but as well an emotional tie-in way, this is where the real learning happens. And that's where you get that true retention coming in there. So that's one of the things that always impressed me about Minecraft, is its ability to create that in the moment immersive environment to actually put the learning on something that you can then actually go through and experience it.
Agreed. And one cool thing that these kids did, some of them, like there is like physics in Minecraft. And actually, a lot of times a minecart wouldn't go straight down for an undefined slope. It was amazing that these kids came up with, some of them came up with the idea, because I said, yeah, you can kind of, if you at least as long as you understand it. But some kids really wanted to figure it out. So they actually put a block that their minecart hit. It hit the block and it went straight down. So a lot of kids, and kind of what Garrett's saying, they were invested and they wanted to play and figure things out. And I thought it was just amazing that they came up with the idea to hit the block so you went straight down. And I don't know, I probably would never have thought of that, but I learned from my kids, and it was quite amazing to see a lot of the work they did. But yeah, even when you look at this, yeah, like Garrett said, you have to be invested and kind of enjoy what you're doing. And you know, this took a few periods, I'd say maybe kind of periods somewhere in there. But the kids were engaged, like Garrett said, they were invested, and they really wanted to you know, get in here, and they wanted to learn what they were doing. So that was, I agree with that, and I'm seeing it more and more. That's why I'm definitely I'm hooked, line, and sinker to use Minecraft, especially in the math classroom. But there are some other examples too that I'll show you, and a couple other things. And then let's see if my project comes up. Oops. Okay. Well, let's see if this lets me in real quick. And if it does, great. And if not, we'll continue on. But I think what these guys did. And yeah, these guys I think did it in Sway too. So let's see if it's going to let me pop up my Sway. But all of these Sways and everything too are inside of the resource, that deanvenderman.weebly.com, that you can take a look, as well as the lesson plans and that type of thing. So if it is taking a little while to see what's going on, too much of people's time. I see it's 1:30 already in that too. I'll see if I can come back to that at the end. Again, I think I probably have a couple things open, but that's kind of how my mind works, which is interesting in itself. So those are a couple examples from my math class. It's interesting with my work placement. There's a bunch of projects, but I've actually, this year is the first time I'm really excited about it. All their project, that's the roller coaster you just saw, this one that I have in front of you, they had to build a water park. So they had to work on surface area and count, and they had to build different structures and have water come out of them, which is interesting in Minecraft. It's a lot of fun. They also had to struggle that Minecraft is blocks, and if they had to build a sphere, how would that look like in Minecraft? So it was really interesting to see what a lot of the kids came up with that. And then they had to build buildings that had like maybe two different types of solids. So it was interesting to see how the kids did with that. And then how volume worked. So from 1 meter, like I had to say that each side of the block is 1 meter squared. So if it's a surface area, one face would be 1 meter squared, and one block would be 1 cube squared. So the kids actually got to play with that, and actually it was more tangible to them than just reading in a textbook. Like, well, how many blocks did you remove to put water in? Well, I removed 3 blocks. Well, then that was, 3 meters cubed worth of water. And then we would say, well, what does that look like? And we had some really rich math conversations because they were building and they were curious about it rather than just another textbook assignment. So this was really cool. And then my next one, we're using fence around their water park and their roller coaster, and then they're going to put in like concession stands and build them to scale and all that. So the kids are quite excited about doing another project with that, and it's just cool as they build onto their worlds to see them come to life and the touches the kids have put on it. So like Garrett was saying, they're really invested in it, and it's really cool to see what they're doing with that. And that's my one lesson I wanted to do on that. I also have on this link has some math tasks that you can kind of take a look at on your own if you decide to look at this PowerPoint. In Genius Hour, and if I go to my back, I was going to show you guys. Oh, maybe I can do this if I go to the PowerPoint here. There's a contest open right now, and one of my students, and I think a few of them, they just put more time on it with Canada 150. There's an Explore, Teach, Build Canada 150. So I also lucky to teach it's a technology business grade 9 class. And so one of my students, and this is using Office Mix, one of my students made a grain elevator in a wheat field, and he did a whole presentation here. And when you hit play, you'd actually hear everything he came up with. A couple other students that are building some Canada 150 marks, and we're going to submit those too. So it was a cool thing for Genius Hour. He really got into it, and it was nice to have the contest too. But if anybody's interested in entering the contest there, if you just even Google Microsoft Explore, Teach, Build Canada 150, you'd find the information there. And there's some really cool assignments that people are doing. I'd really encourage people to take a look at that. And then even my own son, 7, my youngest, Zach, I was working with him the other day. Here, they were learning about the Earth and the layers on the Earth. So he went in there, and the three of us kind of worked together as a project, and we talked about, and kind of hear him talk in the background. But he was really into this too, and at first he's like, so why don't we try to Minecraft? What can we do? So you can kind of see here, because in education thing there, he was able to put the billboards and saying he was really doing it, and about recording it, and which is a great addition to PowerPoint. And feel for the even coming out the side. I mean, and I know there's a lot of people, and I think hopefully Garrett, you'll add to this too, but people are using Minecraft for story starters. They're really getting into it, and it's becoming your imagination is your limit on it. If you have a good idea and it's grounded in good pedagogy and it follows your curriculum, like Garrett was saying as well before, is that you can really go to town on this and really engage your students and watch them create and do some pretty amazing things. And there's no cap on it. That's the beauty of it. You can really just let it, it's tough sometimes. We like structure as teachers and that, but sometimes you just got to be like frozen and let it go a little bit and just see. Sorry?
I was going to say, Dean, it's very interesting because you talk about, the students having this absolute freedom and this tremendous freedom. But I think for educators, it's also the same thing. So one of the things that I primarily focus my training efforts on with educators is to teach them how to be the game designers. So I see this progression from gamification to true game-based learning and being able to create serious game scenarios for our students to go through, which, it basically hits that element of those students who don't like to build, the students who traditionally play Minecraft for fun. And I think we have the opportunity to scaffold our own skills as teachers in Minecraft as we're watching students do it, as we're sharing with other mentors doing it, as we're sharing with other people in the world doing it. And we can do, especially now with Code Builder coming in, we can do some pretty magical things that create this very, very engaging scenario. And to echo exactly what you were saying, the entire point of this is Minecraft is such a scaffoldable tool. You can start at it from the very beginning and be very happy and excited and engaged from just building a simple block house, right? And you can find the math in there, and you can start to look at it in those ways. As educators, we can start to push our students to look at it in those ways. But then we can go further. We can get into the coding aspects of it. We can get into the creativity aspects, the story generation, the narrative development. We can tie it to English, to math, to science, to history, to geography, to all of these different elements, and then go further and create learning games around it. And so I think, the beginning zone of Minecraft, very easy to get involved in. The end zone of Minecraft with work, we can get there and we can go even more magical. It's unbelievable. The ceiling is sky's the limit, pretty much, in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, one of my goals is to teach. I majored in social, minored in math. I'd love to teach a grade 9 social studies class here in Saskatchewan because you deal with ancient civilizations. So I'd love the kids each a civilization, and they would build the landmarks, but then they would have to trade with each other, and they'd have to figure out what each civilization, what their resources were and what they did and types of government and all that. And like Garrett said, it could just spiral into something just amazing. And that's when you get that really rich and robust learning going on, is when the kids, they wouldn't even realize, like a lot of these kids, even these math ones, even though they're kind of a little specific and we don't, they get really engaged. If they could do something like that, I just think the sky would be the limit. They would go and they would do research on their own without you even have to say that, because they would want to know, they'd want to know what the right thing is to do because they're so engaged in their learning and figuring things out. But and that's another cool thing is the coding aspect. And that's something that, and this is a really great site to look at. It's the education in Minecraft.net. So this is basically where you'll find now Minecraft and education, like I said before, is something that I use in my classroom, and I'm lucky because I have Office 365 and I have a one-on-one environment. So what I find that that this is able to do for me is I was able to buy for $6 Canadian a student I was able to buy a license for. And geez, I should have maybe not have had so many things open, but I did have it. Oh, it's not responding. I do have it somewhere else too. Here, I can go to this. So yeah, and so that's for me, it's really easy to use Minecraft Education Edition, because I can actually see who the kids are that are going into that. I get to go in the worlds with them. I get to and I love playing with them, and I love getting them to show me what they're coming up with, and that too. So it's really rewarding in that way. And also so if you want to get the purchase of it, this is the Minecraft Education. So it's educationminecraft.net. That I was going to point out. There's also that I'll just begin to touch, and maybe Garrett, you can comment more on it, but it's really great because you can actually see where your kids are on the map. You can chat with them. You can transport them. You can put like borders in so kids can't go into different people's areas, and you can do that. So as a teacher, it's nice to sometimes have control still. And this feature definitely gives you a little bit more understanding of where your kids are going and what they're working on. Garrett, have you used Classroom Edition quite a bit?
I've used the Classroom Mode, which is the classroom application, a little bit, yeah, especially in trainings more than anything. I think it's very, very important for teachers. It gives you that comfort space to know that you do have control over your world. It gives you that comfort space to as well be able to actually chat as the teacher perspective. And there's a few other tools that are available. If you notice the little triple vertical button over on the left-hand side, just beside the as you're scrolling down a little bit more from the trainings. So there's a little button there that actually allows you on the Classroom Edition. It allows you to do a number of different things, including pause the world. And probably one of the biggest things in play-based learning is that reflection opportunity. Not only that, a big thing in Minecraft is, kids will get out of hand at some points in times. You got to be able to corral them. So this Classroom Mode really allows people to do, or allows a teacher to do that very, very well. Pause for a reflection time, say, hey, let's think about exactly what we were doing, who built what are the challenges, and that's part of just great pedagogy for play-based or game-based learning for sure.
Definitely.
So highly recommend Classroom.
Yeah, no, it's something I want to work on a little bit more as well, for sure. So yeah, inside the website here, it gives you lots of information of what Minecraft is and how it works. There's tons of resources. There's lesson plans. There's pre-made worlds, so you can download them with different like binomes. If you need something that's like, say, you need an Arctic scene, you could find it in there, and that's growing and growing as the community is growing too. So the community in itself is great. You'd find Garrett, myself in here, as well as a lot of other dedicated professionals that are really excited about Minecraft and excited about sharing their journeys and what's going on. So you're not alone in this journey. You learn from your kids, but there's also a lot of passionate educators out there that are willing to share what they're doing, and you can find a lot of them inside of here. Again, there's other support. You can contact them. And then how you sign in, and then you can go through this site to purchase the Minecraft Edition one, which really is slick and really loads up really nicely. But Pocket Edition works well. There's still the old Minecraft Edu kind of floating around there still, and there's some other ways to do it. Some kids go home and they play on their Xbox, and away they go, and they find recording ways to show their learning and stuff too, so you can see it. So this is a great resource for you to kind of your one-stop shop, but there's tons of other things out there too. But I thought I'd highlight that so you're not alone, and where to kind of get more ideas from as well. And this is really cool. This is what Garrett was talking about. This has got released earlier this week. Now there's a code builder. This guy's called an agent, and you can program him to do things. And like, say you want to build a Parthenon, you can program him to build columns. So something that might have taken you weeks and weeks to do, our little Asian friend, if you program him correctly, he'll build all your columns for you. And it really adds such a cool aspect to Minecraft too. And computational thinking is huge in today's world. And if that's something that we could help promote to our kids, I think that will give them lifelong skills that they'll need way beyond anything that we can teach them, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard already, we're preparing them for jobs that don't even exist yet. But I do believe this type of preparation by using Minecraft and coding and that will give them the necessary skills they need to tackle on the 21st century. Garrett, you want to fill them in a little bit on Code Builder?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you this. So I've been using Minecraft for maybe 6 or 7 years now. I've used Minecraft professionally. I used to be a YouTuber, semi-famous YouTuber. And I came into the educational sphere from there because I just saw tremendous application and opportunity for it. And you know, I work with teachers over the course of the last number of years to help bring Minecraft into the classrooms. And this, in Minecraft Education Edition, this is a huge game changer. So for me, one of the big things that I work diligently on is creating learning games and helping teachers to create learning game scenarios and environments for their classroom that really give that extra little punch, that fun element, that magic element that kids are used to in playing games as a way to not disconnect from the game itself. This Code Builder does it. This allows you as the educator to create code, to create these magical moments in kids' lives that are tied directly to the learning so that it becomes a learning game. But as well, at the same thought, it allows kids to explore how games are put together, how coding is put together, and how it's a step-by-step process and the logical elements. But the best thing about this is it's not just kids going in there and typing in a whole bunch of code. We all have looked at programming before and said, oh my goodness, very hard to understand programming languages. But this is based off of things like Scratch and Tinker and Microsoft's new Make Code, where it's all block based. So you can drag and drop a block that says, if I type this into the chat box, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. You can add repeats and loops and cause it to create. You can have your agent build something for you. You can have a builder build something for you. And it's all done by very, very visual, easy to grasp and easy to understand blocks. So this is essentially, you know, the best step for those kids who are in love with Minecraft and traditionally love modded Minecraft. This is your opportunity and their opportunity to actually modify the game themselves. And they can learn how to create mods. And I think that's one of the best and most brilliant things that Microsoft has come up with. So I would encourage you, number one, Code Builder is in its beta stage right now. So if you have a Minecraft Education Edition license, definitely join the beta. And I'm about to put a video out sometime over the next couple of days that kind of explains and walks you through how to do that. But that information is also up in written form on Minecraft or education.minecraft.net. But I would encourage you to get in there, try it out, test out the code. And number two, share your code, because that's the other thing that you can do. Share your code, share your challenges, share your troubles that you're having with it with the rest of the community. Because again, we're all there to support and we're all there to learn from each other as well.
Awesome. Thank you. No, yeah, I'm learning about it too. So I'll be bugging you more as well, Garrett. So thank you so much. That's amazing.
I don't have all the answers, but we'll learn together.
That's beautiful. And that's what it should be. And I think that's something we need to model for our students too. And I also think that's the way of the future. I mean, we're not in a cubicle anymore. We have to collaborate and share and figure and problem solve and solve wicked problems. And Minecraft can do that. I remember just being at E2 there, and then we had to do, there was like a whole problem with old people, well, elderly people in Toronto, and you had to figure out using Minecraft how you could get them more engaged in the community in that. And people were making like gardens that would go up the side of buildings so they could have a garden thing, and there's petting zoos and all these cool wicked problems that you could solve through using Minecraft. So yeah, definitely the sky's the limit. And now with the coding thing, it's really cool. Everything that I've tried to share with you guys here too is up on my Weebly, like I said. So I do have some resources that you're more than welcome. All the lesson plans, the worlds that you have, that you get to see, they're all, oh, it's coming up. Sorry, guys. See, that will come up in a really quickly here, but it's all there for you guys to definitely use. This presentation's up there. There's other things. I think there'll be a copy of this too available to everybody. I think the other thing I wanted to share here too that I had up, I did have, oh, maybe I have too many. Well, I was going to show your Twitter part, Garrett, so I had it up and going on there. But if I put PB
Jelly,
right? So yeah. I'll maybe just let's be quicker. I had it set up earlier too. I had everything kind of ready to go, but it was working fast even with all the things that I had loaded up before.
Surprisingly,
but I'll definitely put it back on for you too. I noticed through the chat, yeah, I can just show you real quick. If I go save and quit, about here, here's where all the for this presentation, and you're more than welcome to use any. I wrote a couple articles for like our local STF, or professional development unit here in Saskatchewan about Minecraft, and I wrote an article for Saskatchewan Math Teachers Association that you're more than more than happy to share with you. There's also some student comments here that I just see we're at 152, so I'm just trying to speed things up a little bit. But all the worlds are here that students have done, and they were cool with me sharing. So here's a link to the presentation and some PDFs that I did. I have some YouTube videos that I made with my son, actually, that shows some of the math things in there too. So you're more than welcome to use any of these materials for sure. I just wanted to show because somebody was saying they like the water park idea. So this is one that my student. So you can see. Oops. I think. And this is some more detailed ones, but you know what? Wherever they're at, that was fine. So they were able to calculate the surface area and the capacity and all that, so they could walk around. Some students made some pretty amazing things. As you can see, this is a look at a sphere, and it's different in Minecraft. So there's the water park, and again, I read about the special properties. They had to figure out how to contain their water, and that type of thing. Even with my son doing the one with lava, they had to figure out how lava worked in Minecraft and figure out the physics there. So there's a little bit of the water park that one of the students made. And this was one student that worked on this. She worked on it by herself because that's what she chose to do. But then I have some where lots of kids work together, and it's amazing to see how they collaborate and that type of thing too. So I thought I'd share that because I noticed that up on the chat there. Again, here's some articles out there. There's lots of, and here's some how to play. There's lots of information out there, lots of people you can touch base with, lots of pedagogy. Like if you click on this, there's a sway that's attached to this, and it talks about Seymour Papert and what he thought about students being engaged in play and that. So even in high school, kids still want to play. So, and here's some what other educators are saying about and how it can be used. And then here's what some of my students, I'm rushing a little bit through this, but we only have a few little bits. I did a thing with the build battle. That was fun. You have 5 minutes to, and they just go to town, and you kind of see what they can do in that amount of time. And, get a lot of these times with my assignments, I get students to draw their picture first or sketch it out, even if they can't draw very well like me, still to get that kind of before they go and do a lot of the work too. So the build battles are a lot of fun too, to see what they come up with. There's also lots of PD opportunities if you want to become a Microsoft in education. If you join the community there, it's a great community. And there's also a code here that if you put it in, you would get some points towards becoming a Microsoft Innovative Educator There's also an Apple Teacher thing out there. I thought I'd plug that out there too. There's so much, many PD opportunities out there to get involved in. But the Minecraft Innovative Educator Program has been amazing. I've been part of it for the last couple of years, and last year I got to go to Budapest for the E2, and this year it was in Toronto, which was amazing, and I met so many great educators. So it's good to go on there and become a part of it. And there's tons of resources to how to become a better, infuse technology into your classroom and that. But more importantly, there's a great community of passionate educators out there that you can get in contact with there too. So again, geez, I wish we had more time. Garrett, I want to give you some more time. Is there anything you wanted to share or say?
No, that's fine. I think your passion has definitely come out for Minecraft. I love the way that you're using it in the classroom. I like that that you're giving that freedom to the students, and especially I like that you're supporting the open opportunities of this. So really, anything that I would say would just be echoing exactly what you've been saying in there. I'd love for everybody to really focus on the fact that if you're watching this afterwards, that there's a huge community out there that supports Minecraft in education, and there has been since its inception. And that is always following the hashtag #MinecraftEDU. So if you're tweeting anything or if you're sharing anything about what your students are doing, I would encourage you to use the hashtag #MinecraftEDU. It's an all-encompassing one. Doesn't matter what platform you're using it for. If you're using it in education, go ahead and tweet out with that. The other thing that I would say, as a final reminder for everybody, is I am the host or the founder, one of the founders with Mark Grandel of the, you might want to put Twitter in that Google if you're going to pull it up. But with Mark Grandel, we started the Minecraft Edu weekly Twitter chat, where we have a new conversation weekly on various topics in Minecraft and education. So you can feel free to join us there on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Whether you're experienced, you're new or not, we're always looking for hosts. Share your voice, share your passion with the rest of the community, and we all learn together. The other thing is, of course, the Microsoft Edu chat, which is hashtag MSFTEDU, is specifically going to be if you want to learn more about Code Builder and more about Minecraft Education Edition. It's coming up in 2 weeks on the 16th on Tuesday. And that is something fantastic that you don't want to miss, using hashtag Minecraft or Microsoft EDU, MSFTEDU chat. And I'm sure Dean will be nice and put that in the comments. But realistically, the only thing that I wanted to do was come here to support you, Dean. I think the work you're doing is amazing. So, keep up the awesome work. And if I can help in any way, by all means.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, just this whole presentation thing, even this whole ability to share and to reach out, and Garrett, thank you so much. I appreciate your expertise and your support. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I just hope if even one of you guys out there learned something and got something out of this, and take it back to your students and inspire one of your students, this is more than worth the time for sure. So once again, thanks to everybody for maybe I should the thing. So I've been so busy trying to get some things up there too, but no, just wanted to go to still in Hangouts. Sorry about that. Lost my train of thought because I got too many things open, but that's okay. Hope again, my PowerPoint, you'd have access to that. And I'm just trying to minimize a few things here because I did have quite a few. It takes you kind of through a whole whack of what we talked about today. Oh, I'm almost getting to where I want to get. Oh, there we go. And I can stop my
recap. It's the summary.
Yeah, there we go. I just wanted to throw my face out there at the end and show you how much that I really enjoyed what doing. Even with making this, all this work is my student work behind me, and it was fun to share that with others. And that's one thing I really get a kick out is just when I tell my kids I'm sharing this with people from all over the world. They're like, "Ooh, really?" And that's one thing Minecraft can do too, is break down the traditional walls, which excites me to no end. So once again, I see it's 1:59. So I think we used our whole hour up there, which is good.
Let me take 30 seconds to make a comment on exactly what you said. The idea of sharing it out. So coming from a Minecraft YouTube background, hanging out with, some of the bigger YouTube stars out there, that's one thing that, kids really got. And they came to me on my channel and they were always looking for me to share their work and showcase their work and whatnot. And this is something that, if you look at how Minecraft fits into the classroom, traditional didactic method, old school teaching style does not really support kids begging and pleading to share their work with the world. It's traditionally, okay, I do the worksheet, I hand it to the teacher. It only stays with the teacher, doesn't go anymore. In Minecraft, bringing that in, it's part of the culture to share with Minecraft. It is a tremendous part of the culture. And when we can bring that into the classroom, now we've got kids who are just super excited to share what they're doing and showcase their learning and try new things and experiment. It's absolutely amazing. So the whole sharing aspect, it doesn't surprise me that your students are passionate about that. And I'm glad that teachers out there are really focusing on sharing that student voice.
Perfect. I think that's a good place to end. Thanks, Garrett. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I appreciate your time, and have a good rest of your day. And watch some of the other presenters. I watched a few of them, and this whole thing that Pete and Derek have put together has been outstanding. And hopefully this is a good PD model for people down the road. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys again. Thanks again, Garrett. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.